Intro recording. Hey guys, welcome back. Happy New Year's, all that stuff. Yeah, straight into a new project. I started before the new year. Yeah, I'm well and truly into it. Just finished that bloody thing. Yeah, it was fun. What I'm going to do is I'm going to switch it over to the computer, go through a little bit of the design and all that sort of thing, so you get a rough idea of what I'm doing. And it's going to be a few parts to this series. Pretty hard to make. Well, you know, for someone like me it is. As I say, we're well and truly underway. This is what I'm doing. Made a couple of little errors which I've got to adjust on. Like this is the base. I don't know if you can see in there. You'll see in the rest of the video anyway. I've pointed it out, but in there I've gone 3.5 mil too deep with a locating step. So I've just got to change the little, whatever that thing is, the screw-on locating thingy. I've just got to change that to suit. Anyway, I'm going to go home and jump on the computer and start editing, and I'll see you there shortly. I've got a camera set up here because it's just easier to point at the screen rather than using the mouse. It's harder to see. This is what we're doing, and should be fun. So yeah, I just thought I'd give you a quick rundown on sort of what's involved in it. There's a couple of things I'm not sure how else to go about either. I mean, I've seen this style online with the pivoting body that pivots the top half into the wheel. But I've never seen how it actually works internally. Yeah. So this is all just guesswork with me, and it's the best I could come up with. It wasn't easy, I'll say that. Like, this is the first time I've used motion. I'll just kick that off, just so you can see what's going on with it. If I spin it around a bit, we'll go that way. You can see that the whole top half's pivoting, and it's only pivoting, I can't even remember what it was. It's like 0.8 of a degree or something like that. I mean, that's all it needs. It's only just got to come off the wheel, off the grinding wheel. I'm going to make this spindle, but I'm also going to make, eventually, same spindle, it takes 5C collets, 2 different spindles to choose from. I'll eventually get around to making 2, but for now it's just this one. I don't know how this is going to work, but so I'm going to put an air fitting in the back there. Hopefully if I pressurize it, I don't know, depending on the fit I guess, but yeah, I'm hoping that it'll assist in its sliding, less, whatever you call it, stiction. I think that's the word for it. It also might, if there's a bit of air flowing out, might keep some of the shit out of it as well. So I'm just hoping it just makes it a bit smoother action. And yeah, I think having positive pressure in there will be a good thing. At the moment, I'll go through sort of what's inside it, as good as I could figure it out. A couple of things that, like, before I get that far along, that maybe you guys can, in the comments, tell me what you think of this, because I was really unsure how to go about it. But anyway, I'll just go like that. We'll just turn some stuff off. That's going to be easiest. Yeah, so this is how it works on the inside. This pivoting arm thing, it's just a tight fit, and I'll probably just put a bronze shim either side of those, but I'll figure that out when I get there. So it's sort of, it's captured in the body here, and by this little duva, whatever you call that thing. What would you call them? The pivot duvas, thing that, does the pivoting. So this took a bit of nutting out, because I had to figure out a way of getting these in, and the pins, get it all to work. So the actual pin itself is going to be pressed, pressed into them. So what you'll be able to do, I've left enough space internally, if I just spin this around a bit. So these here, I've got to fit this section and the arm in first, And then from the bottom, so these will come in, if I rotate it that way, they come in through that gap, slot into the hole, and then you get them around to your position. So I'm going to have a press fit here and, you know, like a very tight, as tight tolerance as I can get it in here through the body. So if I turn that off for a sec and go there. So these blocks are actually, that's going to be a, you know, like checked out, countersunk, whatever you call that, step in. So it's got two like registering sides that these, you know, like a locating thing. I don't know the names of things. I don't know the right terms, but yeah, anyway, so that's the idea of that. This is something that really had me stumped. It still has me stumped, really. So if you see in here, this is my pivoting action through here. Don't worry about the clearance. None of that matters, because it doesn't matter where it ends up when it falls away from the wheel, from the grinding wheel. That doesn't matter. What matters is, you know, where it locates on the other end. But yeah, so this is, yeah, not concentric, eccentric. Anyway, whatever, this thing. What I'm trying to show you is it's got an angle. So you can see here, it's tapered, this thing here. And that's what I wanted. There. So if I rotate that to there. So if you see here, when it's in its utmost position, that way, towards the grinding wheel, this matches with the base, yeah? But when I roll away, so if you see in here, when I roll away, obviously the angle's not right. So yeah, like what do I do there? There's nothing I can do there. I want it solid when it's at its angle. The only thing I can think of is like this pin's going to have to be hardened because the top's cast. I'm thinking about putting a hardened steel, like just a little plate above this, you know, sunk in, glued in, Loctited in, whatever. So, you know, hopefully there's not as much wear in there. Yeah, that's what I'm sort of getting at. So I think if they were both hardened, a lot less likely to wear. But how else would you do that mechanism? Like how would you keep a flat, you know, against that top surface there, this surface here? How would you have something that lifts up with it? You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know. You got any pointers there? Sing out in the comments. That shaft, pivot arm. There we go. Yeah, what's that called? Eccentric. Yeah, so that's going to challenge me. I've already drawn up plans of all my offsets that I've got to do to get it in the right spot. I mean, it might be just a matter of tweaking later, I don't know, and then having the taper on it as well. Yeah, it should be fun. That should be a fun one to try and get right. This is all going to be line board, bushings. I'm actually going to make, I'm going to buy these bushings because they're like 25 bucks or whatever. Like I looked at, you know, a piece of bronze to machine it myself and it was like over 300 bucks just for the bronze. So let's stuff that. I'm just buying some pre-made precision bushings, finger arm. Nothing much to that. It's just an arm. So yeah, this spindle, it's to suit ER32 collets. Just going to use a bought nut. I'll do the shaft entirely. But as I say, I'm going to make one that suits 5C collets as well. Oh, that's what I was going to say. So I made this thing, yeah. This thing can do exactly what that's going to be able to do. Yeah, what the other thing can do. But I made when I first started out, I made a thing similar to this. What I found is with so many movements going on here, yeah, like it can pivot that way, all that. With the other one, I found it a nightmare to do the cutting edge or the helical edge. I don't even know what you call them, but to do that, you know, the amount of lining up that you have to do, like you're there for hours, tapping and knocking and measuring and, you know, trying to square it all up and get it all dialed in. You just don't have time for it. Well, it's crazy. So this thing's purely just for doing the cutting edge, I'm hoping to be able to just leave the two things on the machine, do the end of an end mill with this one, straight into this one, which is already set up, straight in, adjust your finger height, boom, you're sharpening, you know. That's the whole idea of having two separate items, just set up time really. I want this to be able to plonk on the table, push up against the keyways, tighten it up, you're ready to go. That's it, no stuffing around. As I say, I've already started cutting things out, and yeah, I removed a lot of cast already. Like, killed me. Two solid days, or 2.5 solid days of just roughing out the base. I've cut a chunk for the top. Yeah, it was just a bloody nightmare. So anyway, that's where I'm going to bring you into the video. I didn't want to show you 2 days of me just hogging out material, but yeah, so where I'm going to bring you in on the actual machining side of it is, the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to surface grind the basic edges. I want to get the dimensions spot on from base to here and square and all the rest of it. So then I've got a good starting point for all inside. Alrighty, I'll see you soon in the factory and get stuck in. See ya. Alrighty, back in the factory. Shop, shed, wooden square. Well, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, this is the base. It was a bit of a nightmare, to be honest. Last bandsaw blades, yeah, in the chip bin. Wasn't happy. Oh, I've got another one that's missing. A brand new blade. It's missing a big chunk of teeth, but you know. So yeah, as you can see, I had some fun here. I mean, you know, it's not like I've gone out and spent a fortune on chunks of cast or nothing. It was free out of a bin. Started off as this big angled, let me get that back. It's a big angled chunk. So it was a real bastard to cut it off, and it's sort of on an angle and everything. And so yeah, when I chopped the top off, because it was like up there somewhere, chopped the top off that much with the bloody 9-inch. And I've seen the big chunk of porosity there, but I could sort of see down. I could see it was making its way this way. Like, I don't think it goes much further in there, but this is all getting hogged out anyway. But it was initially, like according to my plan, 10 mil higher, because what I was trying to do was match the center height of the spindle to the center height of my other attachment, but it just couldn't happen, unfortunately. So I've gone 10 mil lower, and I've managed to get, I think there's about 20 mil here that's solid. Yeah, so I've shrunk the base 10 mil, nothing I can do about it. Had to go back and just adjust all my plans to suit. While I was there, seen a couple of things that would have been disastrous, so I fixed them up as well, so we should be right to go now. But when you look at it, that's how it started. That's a bloody lot of material I've removed on this poor old mill. Yeah, that's the block for the upper part of the body, which looks all right so far. That one's for another day. Anyway, all I'm going to do is surface grind. I've left just under 0.5 mil on all the surfaces to grind. It's going to take me a while, but yeah, this is my starting point really. So I want to try and get it, you know, as flat and square and parallel and all the rest of it as I can. So I've got a good start. I'll get the cameras set up. I've just spent the last hour cleaning up the surface grinder because it hasn't been used in like 6 months. That's been in direct flight of the mill. So yeah, that was awesome as well. Yeah, so I'll get set up, and I've already dressed the wheel, ready to go. And yeah, get grinding. Just want to get a gauge for how high this thing is. 62.28 there. 62.26. 30, 28. Right. So probably touch off on that corner there. So 21.5. I'm just going to do it. Light skim over the top of that, and then measure it. See where we're at with it. .62, 16, yeah, 62.16. Yeah, we're on the money. 0.4 to go. 0.04. 0.04. Yep. There you go, if you can read that upside down. 61.999. So, you know, the old girl does alright, I reckon. Oh, yeah. It's probably going to be about there somewhere. Oh, you idiot. 80.405, right. All right. Oh, come here. So that's it there. 79,997. 3 microns off. That's it there. Oh. Can't pull it off, obviously, but it's 79.992. So 8 microns off. That's all right, bloody hell. Give me a good noise. Should give me a good basis to start with anyway. Much better than I could get on just straight off the mill, that's for sure. So. Not that I'm going for a surface finish, I'm going for a, just squaring it up and getting as close as I can. Anyway. Okay, what I got to do now is just clean up these edges. It's 180 mil overall, and then this section's 120 mil, so clean them up, find the center of that. No, find the new bloody height of the round column mill. Then redo it again, and then find the center of that, so I can machine them, and then work on the guts. Okay, I just had to figure this out because this is one of those banana end mills. I don't even know what it is, but it's the longest shank I've got. So yeah, I just had to like mill it so it was kind of from the center point out, from there, center from that into there, and then get them the same dimension, reset zeros on my DRO. Yeah. It's a bit confusing, but anyway, I've got it from the point that I'm at there. I've still got to go in another 1.75 mil each side, but I've got to start from out here and do all this, work my way in. So yeah, 124. Alright, so what we're doing now, fun stuff. Hogging the guts of this out, and I'm just going to drill it all out, save end mills and all the rest of it. So drill out what I can. I've marked out, just done some lines so I know where to avoid. The black is the section that I've got to drill right through. I'm using a 13mm drill bit, and my radius is in the corner there, a 14mm, so yeah, I'm leaving 1/2 mil. That should be right. It doesn't really matter anyway, but I'm just going to drill out my corner points first, and then work my way along. About there somewhere, I reckon. Just going to set 0 here on the Z, so I know how deep I am. And we're off. Just check that quickly. Yep. Beautiful. One. That's about it. It's another day. Last night I started hogging out the top. The camera's flat, mic was flat and everything, so I just kept going. You didn't miss much. Just rough, clearing it out. Continue on. This end mill's reground, so it's still going to be in a bit, but I'm going to run it around as that and then work out my final dimensions. So I'm just going to plunge in these corners first and take it from there. How deep have I got to go? 17.5. There's another light in there, can't see a bloody thing. Alright, next one is 19.5 deep. Alright, I've made my first mistake. Didn't allow for me offset, so I've gone in too deep. There's I can't really show you, but there's a step in here, and it was to locate the douver on top. So looking at that, I've gone at least 3 mil past where I had to, so I'm just going to have to allow for it in this top part. And it's no big deal, but it's just, yeah, more work. But anyway, what do you do? Oh, I just got to write this down before I forget. Alright, so we're hogged out. I've written down how much more I've got to take out. So this is going to be the final passes to get it to dimension, hopefully. This end mill is not the best now, so I have to take it easy, but I don't want to go changing it. And then, you know, yeah. I mean, the other one doesn't look that much sharper anyway, to be honest, so we're just going to have to see what happens with it. Just going to plunge down the corners with my offsets, just so I'm not, you know, forcing the cutter into the sides. All right, we're off. And I've got to go down how deep at the front? 17.5 deep. 2.5. Pretty good. There's another one. 15. Just try and bring that in a bit. See that there. Oh, hang on. Where are we? Yeah. God. Alright, so I'm just going to hog most of this out and yeah, just manually. That's nice and sharp. Oh. It's obviously fucking loose too. Oh, bloody hell. Alright, disaster almost struck. My bloody vice moved. That's the first time for everything. And it had moved a long way, like when I started cutting out the back, or the bottom. Yeah, it was just like completely on the piss and couldn't figure out what was going on, because that's the last thing I thought would have moved. Yeah, anyway, took it all out, clocked it, and it was a mile off, so I've had to screw it all back up, and then I've just gone back in and just, you know, give it a tiniest lick just to make everything bloody parallel again. So, but yeah, lucky save. I almost started doing what I'm doing now, like doing my T-slot groove, and it just, yeah, it was almost disaster. But anyway, so now, yeah, now I'm going to do my T-slots, and T-slot? No, not T-slot. Bloody hell, what are they called? Don't know the names of anyone. So yeah, now I'm just doing my slot. So yeah, now I'm just doing my slot. better. Do it that way. Oh, work. Okay, now I'm just doing my little checkout at the front and the hole for the stop pin. Come on. Oh, beautiful. There you go. That's that. All right, I'm set up on my spot. I've got a drill and ream a 10mm hole here. So we'll do that. Just got to swap chocks. Because that one is a bit more accurate. Lower down to the part. Another one down. All right, last two holes. Just got to drill and tap two M5s. We're done. There you go.